Good day, this is the Green Mage. I speak simply and accessibly about the complex and sometimes incomprehensible. Today, about the laws of the universe. A law is a statement of fact, derived from observations, that a certain natural or scientific phenomenon always occurs under specific conditions. In addition to the laws of our physical world, which are taught in schools and institutes in physics, chemistry, and other lessons, there are other laws of the universe which we will talk about today. Here are some examples of laws. 1. Law of universal gravitation, physics. All objects attract each other. For example, an apple falls to the ground because the earth attracts it. 2. Law of conservation of mass, chemistry. During chemical reactions, the mass of substances does not change. However much mass there was before the reaction, there will be the same amount after. Everything around us, at different levels of perception, is permeated by its own laws. The subtle world is entangled in laws like a fly in a web. Ignorance of the laws does not exempt anyone from responsibility. They work regardless of whether we want them to or not. If you don't know about the law of attraction, jumping from a height won't save you from physical harm and consequences. Each of us, over time, notices certain patterns. When we do something good for the world, sooner or later we receive something good from the world. When we bring bad into the world, sooner or later we receive bad in return as well. Let me formulate some laws. Law of will. The law of freedom of choice. Regardless of all prohibitions, we are capable of making any decisions. You can do anything, but you will also have to answer for everything. The law of will is primary, evolutionary. Every being with intelligence above that of a mammal makes choices every minute, every hour, and every day about what they do and acts on these choices independently. The law of will is inexorable for everyone, even for higher beings' will is a person's initiative. In this material world, a person can do anything they want. Everyone has freedom and the right to choose, but not everyone understands that this must be done wisely. Flores. Higher powers may intervene only slightly, for example, to prevent a serious event or death. Higher powers will prevent a fatal outcome if it would globally contradict the Creator's plan. Higher powers can only motivate, offer choices. For example, imagine a child does not want to eat porridge and parents have to offer something. Watch cartoons, go to the park on the swings or out into nature, and then the child thinks and chooses. The child realizes the benefit and makes their own choice about what to do. A person can only be given a conviction, but he always makes the choice himself. Of course, later a person may be punished for one choice or another, but this does not negate the power and inevitability of the law of will. The next law that operates on our planet is the law of the whole. If you combine all the colors of the rainbow, you get pure white light. If you unite all the colors of this world, you get a whole pure world. Everything is a single mechanism. The Creator is not dual, not black or white, not good or bad. He is whole, unified, and contains everything, a single state. And each of us, at different moments, sees only separate parts of this truly unified, common state. A human being is of a whole called by us the universe. Albert Einstein. The law of the whole also exists in the family. A family is whole only when all its members are together, understand and feel each other. Individually, we are only separate parts of a vast, holistic mechanism. An electromagnetic field appears when there are positive and negative particles. Electric current arises from a difference in potential voltage between 2 points and the presence of a conductor. Without a difference in potential, there is no current. The law of the mirror. What you radiate is what you receive. Our internal values set a certain filter through which our inner state is reflected. First and foremost, you see what is inside you. Value filters come first. The world is a great mirror. It reflects back to you what you are. Thomas Dreyer. Values and beliefs based on those values radiate from a person. Mood, state, music, habits, phrases, movies they watch, role models, all of this characterizes and shapes a person. For example, a family-oriented person has a certain car, house, daily routine, attitude toward the world, schedule, films, music. They will cherish this world and notice what resonates with their values and touches them. People with the same worldview will be found. To improve yourself and what you radiate outward, you need to make gradual changes, introduce new positive habits, and eliminate or refuse negative, harmful ones. This is a very slow, steady, painstaking process. Values are more fundamental than our thoughts. The law of karma. The law of cause and effect. What you do for others will inevitably come back to you. Karma does not punish. Rather, like a photocopy of your actions, it shows you what you have been like, how you have treated other people. For example, if parents yelled at their child during childhood but said, "We love you," then the child, expressing what they believe is love, will also yell. This becomes their worldview. And in response to aggression, the universe sends them even more aggression, and they realize that their behavior is inappropriate and needs to be changed and improved. As a result, the response from the universe will change over time. Always analyze and reflect on what you bring into this world. It's as if the universe says, "Back then you acted badly. Understand this and change yourself, and then you will act differently." Karma is necessary so that a person is constantly changing themselves and growing spiritually. If you ignore karma, the next wave will be harsher or even cruel, so that you fully understand. The law of karma. We have two baskets of karma, positive and negative, and each one fills independently of the other. It is impossible to cancel out negative karma with positive karma. Negative and positive karma run parallel to each other. They are not scales. One side cannot outweigh the other. The universe will return the contents of both baskets through other people during your current life. The universe does not carry debts. It always returns back what you gave it. Drishti Bablani. Karma will come back in the most important areas for a person at that moment. For example, if someone did wrong to their partner in a relationship and later has no partner, karma may hit their health or finances, meaning other vital areas. The law of relativity. Nothing is inherently good or bad. Everything is colored by a person's own prism of perception and mental worldview. For example, in the news it was reported that a famous person was scammed out of a large sum by fraudsters. As a result, people who hear this story might think, those who value honest work will sympathize and want the criminals punished. Bad. Others will be happy that these rich people won't miss the money and will start fantasizing about what they would do if they had gotten that money by illegal means. Good. Some people simply won't care and won't pay attention to the news. Others will just change their personal passwords, just in case. And when you are courting a nice girl, an hour seems like a second. When you sit on a red-hot cinder, a second seems like an hour. That's relativity. Albert Einstein. And so on. Everything is relative. For the universe, there is no coloring of events. There is only the fact of the event itself. It is in society that envy, irritation, hatred, and resentment become especially pronounced. That's why for objective thinking, use the technique, camera on a pole. The camera simply records events without judgment or reaction. With the camera on a pole technique, you can turn off your emotional response and make a sober analysis of the situation. Whether an event is good or bad exists only in each individual's mind. The law of faith, doubt. Everyone will be rewarded according to their faith. Where there is thought, there is energy. Where there is energy, there is materialization. For specialists in helping professions, this law is especially important. If you believe that you can help a person, most likely that's exactly what will happen. If you believe, it materializes. If you doubt, you deconstruct it. If you don't believe in yourself, even your horse won't run for you. Genghis Khan. It never happens that you had no doubts, and yet something did not occur. If it did happen, it means someone else believed in it. Most often in sports, the teams with the largest number of fans and supporters win because the energy of faith directed at the team provides a powerful boost of events and increases the probability of victory. The fan is the 12th player on the field, a football slogan. When parents believe in their child, the child gains extra strength and motivation. But if someone doubts, they destroy. That's why people say, if you have a serious plan, share it only with those closest to you, or better yet, don't tell anyone until you've accomplished it, to avoid the weakening effect of others' doubts. Share your plans only with people who truly believe in and support you. Be extremely careful about whom you share your ideas with. Hire, collaborate, and communicate only with those who believe in you. The law of conscience. Until conscience awakens, heavenly retribution from the universe will not come. Until conscience is activated, the universe cannot return karma to that person. For example, imagine two people working as warehouse managers at a construction supply depot. One's conscience hasn't awakened yet. He thinks everything around belongs to him, and for years commits petty thefts, taking gloves, trash bags, and other small things. The other sees all this and understands that stealing is wrong. He cannot fathom how someone can act like the first one. If the second person with a conscience decides to act like the first and also steal something, he will be caught immediately because he already has a conscience and understands the consequences. Conscience is God present in man. Victor Hugo. Conscience always activates the payment mode. Conscience is like a conductor, collecting payment for every situation where you knew you were acting wrongly. Many consider conscience a trait of the weak, but in reality, it is a mechanism for changing the world for the better and raising the level of spiritual development. Follow the link on the right above or in the description of the video and watch the video about the levels of spiritual development. Having or not having a conscience is not our choice. It is one of our helpers in spiritual development. The law of similarity. The infinitely small and the infinitely large operate according to similar scenarios and algorithms. Imagine the structure of a molecule where there is a nucleus and electrons orbiting around it, and compare it to the scheme of planets in the solar system moving around the sun. These structures are very similar to each other. Remember, if people have levels of spiritual development, it can be assumed that our planet has something similar. Our planet, like a person, breathes. It has lungs. A person has an immune system, special cells, erythrocytes, that destroy viruses and bacteria. Immunity helps a person survive. If too much infection accumulates in any part of the body, exceeding a critical level for life, the immune system acts. Imagine that the planet is like a human being, and if someone systematically worsens the environment, cuts down forests, and harms it in any way, sooner or later, the immune system will have to command its erythrocytes to eliminate the source of disease. Through illnesses, epidemics, and natural disasters, the planet tries to rid itself of harmful beings that weaken and destroy it. Tsunamis and the biblical Great Flood are also consequences of the planet's self-defense. There is, in my opinion, a great similarity between the problems provided by the mysterious behavior of the atom and those provided by the present economic paradoxes confronting the world. Paul Dirac. There is a theory that any molecule is also an enormous world, a universe within a single molecule which exists simultaneously with our world and with an infinite number of other worlds. The laws of ancestry, the law of hierarchy, the law of balance, the law of energy flow, the law of belonging and substitution. We'll talk about these laws later when we discuss family relationships in future episodes. Thank you for your attention. I am sure that knowledge of the laws of the universe will make you more aware. All the best to you.